Great. Welcome all to the Brain Health and Wellness Initiative series. Tonight, our presenter is Leanne Stuver, and she is presenting on mindfulness, an important tool for decreasing stress and increasing brain health. My name is Hannah Doles, and along with my colleague, Nicole Hale, we provide care navigation in the JFSA Dementia Care Navigation Program. Our program establishes an empowering environment to help improve the quality of life of those who have dementia or at risk of developing dementia, all while helping family caregivers reduce the stress and burden that often occurs while caregiving. At JFSA, we understand the importance in working with our clients' strengths and applying a person-centered approach to care, which extends throughout our multidisciplinary team of geriatricians, nurses, social workers, and geriatric psychiatrists. Nicole and I meet our clients where they are at and develop individualized care plans that help produce solutions to presenting problems, from linking persons with dementia and their families with community resources to following them with their medical management. We are their point of contact for guidance as well as a listening ear. We consider the intersectionality of one's life when creating interventions that adhere to their biopsychosocial needs and experiences. We will be taking questions at the end of Leanne's presentation. So I will take questions through the Q&A feature at the bottom of your screen. Please refrain from using the chat box if you can. We are also offering continuing education credits tonight. So after the completion of this presentation, you'll get a survey in your email box. And if you can please complete the survey, you will get a CE credit about approximately a month or so after you submit that survey to us. And so if you have any questions about the email address, if we can't match the name, sometimes we have issues with that. So feel free to give us a call. We'll make sure we can get the certificate to you.
Sorry, I went too fast.
That's okay. A little bit about our presenter tonight. Leanne Stuver is a registered nurse with an extensive background in health education. She worked as a hospital nurse for 10 years before earning her master's degree in education. She has over 20 years experience in the planning and implementation of adult education programs at Menora Park, where she served as their director of lifelong learning. Leanne has been involved in numerous speaking engagements with JFSA, including teaching savvy caregiver workshops and facilitating caregiver support groups. She is currently the director of lifelong learning at the Virtual Brain Health Center and teaches community education classes about the importance of lifelong learning and brain health. She is passionate about educating the community in practical ways they can learn to support their health and wellness. Leanne, thank you for being with us tonight.
Thank you so much, Hannah, and thank you to everyone for choosing to spend your evening with us this evening. Tonight, we're going to talk about mindfulness. You may hear the term a lot. It's in the media, you'll hear it pop up, but I found that a lot of people maybe don't really understand what mindfulness actually means. So we're going to delve in a little bit tonight and try to learn what it is and why it's good for us. So let's start first with a definition. So Sylvia Boorstein, who's a psychotherapist and a Buddhist teacher, had a good definition that I would like to start with. And she said that mindfulness is the aware, balanced acceptance of the present experience. It isn't more complicated than that. It is opening to or receiving the present moment, pleasant or unpleasant, just as it is. Typo, that should be is, without either clinging to it or rejecting it. So that may seem a little bit deep, but let's make it a little simpler. So mindfulness is an umbrella term. that encompasses a lot of different ideas, concepts, practices, techniques, where we all want to get grounded is kind of the goal. So it's a way of thinking, it's a mindset, it's a way of being more aware and conscious of us moving ourselves through life. So not being on autopilot, actually paying attention to what is going on around us and how we feel about it. That's the idea of mindfulness. It is also a practice. And what I mean by that is we have to learn to do it. It requires effort. It requires dedication. It requires repetition. And you have to be committed to it. It's not something that you can just kind of do without learning and paying attention. There's not necessarily a right way to practice mindfulness. It's more of what works for you as an individual. And we're going to talk about several different things that fall under this mindfulness umbrella. And we're going to actually briefly practice a couple of them, but I'm going to give you some other resources that you can experiment some additional ones on your own. So some of the practices that fall under this umbrella of mindfulness and could be considered to be in your toolbox of things that you're going to practice could be meditation, yoga, qigong, breathing, head to toe relaxation, visualization, thought retraining. Another one is Tai Chi. I actually got an email in my inbox today from the Cleveland Clinic. I get their wellness emails, and today's was about relaxation and reducing your risk of stroke with mindful movement. And they specifically reference Tai Chi and gentle yoga. So start paying attention to where you see maybe some of these practices pop up or where you hear the idea of mindfulness. Now, we're going to talk about several of them. Obviously, in an hour, I can't go in depth, and many of them you need to be certified to do a class in, but you can research some of these on your own. The first thing that we're going to do, though, is kind of the first building block to all of these practices, and that is breathing. Now, we usually do not think about our breathing unless we're having trouble doing it, and then we think about it. But what we're going to do for 3 minutes is we're going to do, and I've got to get out of my PowerPoint and bring the video up, but we're going to spend 3 minutes breathing. And what I want you to do is I want you to try to clear your mind. I want you to feel the air going in and out of your nose. I want you to just breathe in and out of your nose if you can. If you can't, that's okay. I want you to feel the air as it fills your chest. I want you to feel your abdomen as it contracts when you breathe out. And if you really want to feel that difference, put one hand up on your chest and put the other down on your abdomen so that you can really feel that breathing. So let me switch screens here just so that we can get the full experience. Reshare. Okay, so let's breathe for 3 minutes. okay. Think about whether that felt comfortable to you or whether that felt uncomfortable to you. But hopefully you feel a little more relaxed. And I brought the wrong screen up. So again, I apologize. I always do that coming back, so bear with me. Share again. Okay, but I'm still, are you full? Are we full screen, Hannah? Are we okay?
Yes, we're good.
All right, thank you. Sorry for that little glitch. So breathing is one of the key tenets of any type of mindfulness practice. About 90% of what our brain does is not under our conscious control. And breathing is one of those things. And mindfulness is about bringing some of those things that are in our unconscious or our subconscious into our conscious awareness. And so that's what we did in that 3-minute breathing exercise. We probably hadn't been thinking about our breathing while we were doing the introductions and everything before that. But in those 3 minutes, you were very aware of your breathing. So we want to shut down. In order to be in a mindful state, you want to not be thinking about all the things that you have to do tonight after you get off this call. You don't want to be planning ahead for tomorrow. You don't want to be going over what happened today. You want to be right here in the here and now. And practicing breathing is a good way to get centered and to get into the present. Now, some of you may have noticed while you were breathing, you were thinking about other things, and then hopefully you brought your attention back to your breathing. That is part of a whole mindfulness practice. Now, a lot of people are really good at just doing deep breathing on their own, but I'll be honest, I need to have a guide. So that video that we did was put out by the company Calm. It was a free video on YouTube. There are also apps on your phone that specifically have just breathing apps. So Calm is one. The breathing app is another. Othership, Insight Timer. You may know of other ones as well that have just some breathing exercises. There's also free videos on YouTube. There's options on Spotify or Google or Apple Podcasts. You can do the breathing on your own. Even a few minutes of deep, even breathing is beneficial. If any of you have trouble with your blood pressure, especially if when you go to the doctor's office, your blood pressure is higher, if you do some deep breathing before they take your blood pressure will be lower because that breathing just calms everything down in your body. So those are just some options. Don't worry about writing this down. You're going to get a copy of the PowerPoint. So you'll get all of these in a copy of these slides at the end after you do your evaluation. Now let's talk for a minute where mindfulness came from. So mindfulness actually came as out of the Buddhist religion, as a Buddhist practice. It was very focused on the well-being of others, not necessarily just the person who was doing the mindfulness practice, but by improving themselves, they improved their community. It helped them live morally and ethically. It helped them be more kind and compassionate to others. It was supposed to decrease greed and hate, and was supposed to encourage everyone to be full of more wisdom through this practice. Now, like everything else that happens, we tend to do things a little differently here in the United States. And so there's a westernized version of mindfulness that is more what we're going to talk about tonight. And it's more person-centered. So it's a solution for problems that an individual is suffering with, and it helps them control that. It's more for your own individual peace and happiness, not necessarily the community as a whole. And it's more for you to be more self-aware and more contented with your space, your personal space. So ideally, we would like to have that Buddhist idea that these mindfulness practices are good for the community. But in reality, here in our Western world, it's usually done more of an individual basis. Now, mindfulness practices have lots of benefits. And the first benefit, well, the first benefit that you'll always find when you look it up is stress reduction. And these areas that I have listed on the slide here are the ones that are supported by the scientific research. So mindfulness practices are shown to help with stress reduction. They are also shown to help in the improvement in a wide range of mental health conditions, specifically depression, anxiety, substance abuse, PTSD. The newest area of research that I really find fascinating is that they're also starting to research whether having a consistent mindfulness practice can help delay the onset of Alzheimer's disease or other forms of dementia. So I think that's a really exciting area of research that is currently going on. Now, let's talk about the first idea first of stress reduction. So the reason I picked this talk for this month is because I personally feel that everybody gets kind of stressed out in December. There's a lot of things we need to do. There's a lot of responsibilities. There's a lot of commitments. So we tend to kind of enjoy December, but it also tends to be stressful. So let's talk about stress reduction first. In order to use mindfulness as a stress reduction technique, you first need to understand how you feel, how you interpret stress in your body and your brain. And we all probably do this differently, but we have to understand and recognize when we feel stressed. Now, some of us may feel it in our bodies. So maybe you get tired, maybe you get a headache, maybe you get all tense, your muscles are all tense. Some of us notice it in our mind or our brain. Maybe you're worrying all the time, or you're very negative, or you're making poor decisions, or you just feel that your thinking is foggy. Maybe it's in your behavior. Maybe you turn to substance abuse. You maybe drink more when you're stressed, or you smoke when you're stressed. Maybe you eat more or eat less when you're stressed. Maybe you have trouble sleeping when you're stressed. It can come up in your behavior, or maybe it's your emotions. Maybe you're irritable. Maybe you are more nervous or anxious or depressed. So think about how you feel when you know you're stressed. And you probably can find things on this list that apply to you when you're stressed out. Now, the thing about stress is we actually need to have stress to get things done. So stress is kind of a continuum, as you see on this curve on your screen. That green area where there's too little stress, maybe it doesn't push us to get anything done. So we're maybe kind of lazy if we're not pushed to get something done, if we don't have a deadline. That yellow idea is that optimum stress. Sometimes it's called EU stress, EU stress. That's where we're the most productive. We need a little bit of stress to get us going. That's kind of where I am when I have a presentation coming up. I need that little bit of stress to get me to get this presentation done. But then when you get over to the right-hand side of the curve in that orange and red area, if we have too much stress, we can be overwhelmed or overloaded. And into that red area is burnout. So we're always on this stress curve somewhere, and you have to be able to recognize where you are on it and what you can do to get to that more optimum yellow zone. Now, when we are stressed, it's our nervous system that is really causing all those symptoms in our brain and our body. And you have two sides of the nervous system. And I've mentioned these in some of my presentations, so you may have heard this before. The sympathetic, the right-hand side of our nervous system, is our fight or flight response. That is the side of the nervous system that gets ramped up when we're under stress. So it's where those stress hormones are released, cortisol and adrenaline. When those are coursing through our body, our brain doesn't work as well, our heart beats faster, we breathe faster, we're just not relaxed. The left-hand side of the picture is the parasympathetic nervous system. That's our rest and digest side of the nervous system. This is where we want to switch our body to when we are stressed, to calm down the release of those stress hormones, to let our brain work more efficiently, to slow down our heart rate and our blood pressure. So we have control over this nervous system to some effect. That 3-minute breathing that we did at the beginning helped switch any of you that were feeling stressed. So it helped calm down the sympathetic nervous system and switch your body to more that parasympathetic side. So this being aware of our nervous system and how it works helps you understand how these mindfulness practices work. So obviously, if we're stressed, we want to learn to be more relaxed. So relaxation is defined as a state of being free from tension, stress, and anxiety. And for some of us, we may have trouble finding a time where those things are gone. So I understand that. When we are relaxed, we are characterized as having a feeling of calmness, tranquility, and a state of physical and mental ease. So when we use mindfulness practices to help us relax, we switch from sympathetic to parasympathetic, and then that just incorporates more relaxation. So why do we want to tamp down that stress and have more of this relaxed state in our body and our brain and our nervous system? Well, there are a lot of proven benefits of relaxation, both for the body and for the brain. So let's talk about the body first. When we are more relaxed and we learn to relax, our stress level goes down, our blood pressure goes down, our mood improves, we sleep better, our muscles are more relaxed, and our immune system functions better when we're in a more relaxed state. Our brain is much more easily focused and concentrated on something when we're more relaxed. We have less anxiety, less depression. We are more creative, and it improves our memory. Stress is a terrible thing on our memory. Those stress hormones, cortisol and adrenaline, they wipe out our good memory or what memory we have. So learning to use mindfulness to get in a more relaxed state is a help for both your body physically and especially for your brain. Now, another practice that is easy to do. So that breathing exercise was relatively easy. I'm assuming it didn't stress you out trying to do that breathing exercise. The same thing with a guided head to toe relaxation exercise. This video is a little bit longer. It's about 6 minutes. It's from the American Lung Association, and the narrator will talk us through it, but I want you to try to do it because this is a really good way to get yourself to relax, especially if you're one of those people that wakes up in the middle of the night and your brain kicks in and starts going and you can't get back to sleep. Doing one of these head to toe type of relaxation exercises is a really good way to get yourself to relax and fall back to sleep. So let's spend the next few minutes relaxing with this video. So now I'm going to stop my share again, and I'm going to bring up the video. And now let me share it again. And try to participate to the best of your ability and really experience this head to toe relaxation. Here we go.
Hi, I'm Candace Alexander, Director of Health Promotions with the American Lung Association. As a health educator and yoga instructor, I'd like to share some tools to help you stay calm during times of stress. I'll share practices that enable you to cool and calm the nervous system while enhancing clarity, serenity, and deep rest. Today's session is focused on progressive muscle relaxation. So all you'll need is a chair to sit in where your back is well supported and your feet can sit flat on the floor. You also can sit on the floor with your knees crossed or lie flat on the floor where your head and knees can be supported. So let's get started. So just taking a moment to check in with the body. That is, making sure that the shoulders are relaxed, that the arms and hands have a place to rest comfortably. And taking in a nice gentle inhalation and letting it go with a sigh. Once again, taking in a slightly deeper but gentle inhalation through the nostrils and again letting it go through the mouth. Perhaps already beginning to feel a sense of softness in the body. So we'll move our attention into the body to release trapped energy and move deeper into total relaxation. Starting with the lower half of the body, in a moment, I'm going to ask you to take in an inhalation, and I want you to create some deliberate stiffness and stretching in the parts of the body that I mentioned. So again, inhaling and deliberately tightening the feet, the legs, the knees, the thighs, the buttocks, the tummy, whole lower half of the body. Hold, hold, tighten, tighten. And now let go. And on the next exhalation, letting go even more. And observe the flood of energy in the legs. And next we'll work with the upper part of the body. As you inhale, again making it deep and hold. Tightening the fists, the arms, the shoulders, the chest, the back, the neck, the face, the head. Tighten, tighten more completely. And now let go. And on the next exhalation, letting go completely. observing the flood of energy in your arms and face and hair. And this time, we'll work with the entire body, taking a longer but softer inhalation if you can. And as you hold, tightening the feet, the legs, the knees, the thighs, the buttocks, tummy, chest, back, shoulders, hands, arms, face, neck, head, whole body, tighten, tighten as long as you can, and then let go. On the next exhalation, letting go even more. Observing the feel and flood of energy, extending to all muscles, nerves and cells, the entire body. Just let your whole body melt into the flood of energy that you feel. Let the whole body go limp. Rest in silence. And slowly feeling yourself as you deepen the breath, rising back to the surface of awareness. Awareness of the physical body and how well the chair or floor support you. The sounds of the room, the air in the room and how it touches your face. And as you feel the impulse beginning to move, perhaps stretching the body as if awakening from a restful nap. When you're ready, open your eyes. Thank you for joining us for this practice. If you'd like to know more, go to lung.org or call our lung helpline. Breathe easy. Namaste.
Okay. Hopefully that maybe got you back to even a little deeper bit of relaxation than just doing the breathing on its own, because she guided us to tighten things and then to relax. And oftentimes when we're stressed, we have different parts of the body that we feel are tight. So just learning to relax those is helpful. Now we're going to take this one step further. So breathing and muscle relaxation are two key components of a mindfulness practice. But the next thing that we're going to talk about is meditation. Now, we're not actually going to practice meditation tonight, but we're going to talk about it a little bit. So meditation, according to Debbie Hampton, who has written a wonderful book, How to Use Mindfulness as a Mental Health Tool. And it's a great book. It's brand new. I've got a link for it in the resources, but it is a wonderful book to learn about how mindfulness practices can benefit our body, but especially our brain. She says, meditation is letting your thoughts arise as they naturally do, becoming aware of and observing them without attaching to them, letting them go, and returning to a state of mental neutrality and calmness. So meditation goes one step further than just breathing or relaxation. You're really trying to clear your mind and just think about right here and right now. Now, that is easier said than done. So for any of you who have maybe tried meditation, you'll understand what I'm saying. But let's talk about meditation a little bit. It's not necessarily a religious or a spiritual practice. It's more of a mental health, brain health, body health tool. It's learning to pay attention to what you are thinking and then letting those thoughts go and focusing and calming your mind. Learning to meditate takes practice. And it doesn't mean even once you're a good meditator that those thoughts don't come in. When you are a skilled meditator, you recognize the thoughts come in and you send them back out. And it's kind of hard to explain. I am not a good meditation practitioner. I am a very beginner. And what I have to say is, for all beginning meditators, you need to do a guided meditation. You need to have a narrator that guides you through it, through the breathing, through clearing your mind. That is the best place to start. Now, why do I think that you are going to benefit from meditation? The reason is it has a lot of benefits for your brain. So it increases neuroplasticity. This is a big word that means that you can change how your brain is wired. You can control those thought processes that go on in your brain through meditation. So your brain is able to change its structure and function, and meditation helps it do that. So you can change your brain through meditation. What happens is that when you meditate, you have increased activity in the frontal lobe of your brain. That is our rational brain. That's where decisions are made. So if we have better activity in this frontal part of our brain, we make better decisions. When we meditate, it calms the amygdala. The amygdala is the fear center in our brain. That's the area of our brain that's always on alert for danger. That's the area of the brain that is overactive in someone who has PTSD. So when we meditate, the amygdala is calmed down. When we meditate, we also have more activity in the left prefrontal cortex. So it's the left side of that frontal part of the brain. That is where our positive emotions are processed. So if that part of the brain is more active, we will tend to have more positive emotions. And the best part about meditation is that a consistent meditation practice can actually grow the hippocampus. The hippocampus in our brain is the area of our brain that deals with learning and memory. And it's also the area of the brain that decreases depression. So all of these things combined show you that meditation can have a wonderful effect on your brain. It's also shown that people have more compassion and more empathy, those who have a consistent meditation practice. So how would you go about learning to meditate? Again, there are apps, and these apps they all have free options. The same thing with the breathing app. Some of them you can pay for and have a subscription, but there are also free options, maybe not as many, but they don't have to cost you any money. So again, Calm, Othership, and Insight Timer are three of them. Headspace also has programs on Netflix, if you're on Netflix, that help you learn to meditate and help you learn the benefits of meditation. And they're very well done. So if you're a more visual person rather than listening, you might check those out on Netflix to learn that. Now, if meditation sounds like it's maybe too much for you to try, there are actually some more passive options, which I find absolutely fascinating. So there's research into healing sounds. So it's a merge of ancient instruments and modern neuroscience that come together to make music that helps your brain get its wavelengths into a meditation zone. So I will have links to a couple of different sources for this type of music, but there's also free sources available on YouTube that you can find. But here's the catch. When you want to do this more passive healing sounds, you have to have headphones in both ears. So the music is designed to go into your ears at different times. And it's also recorded in 40 hertz. It's sometimes called binaural beats. And it's really kind of new out there, but by listening to this type of music for a few minutes at a time, you actually rewire your brain, just as if you were having a very successful meditation practice. There's a lot of different styles of the music that you might like, some better than others. Dr. Richard Gold is the one who has this meta music website that I'm referring to. I also give you a link to a podcast that he did on our Virtual Brain Health Center website that tells you a little bit more about the science behind this if you're more interested. But you can also search on YouTube for this 40 hertz music that will help your brain get into this meditation zone, so to speak. And it's a lot more passive, and you still get those brain benefits if you feel that the meditation is too difficult. So I wanted to give you a lot of different options. Like I said, yoga has a lot of meditation elements. So does Tai Chi. So does Qigong. There's visualization techniques out there. There's many different types of things that you can get these brain benefits from. The key to this is that taking care of your brain is self-care. Now, this infographic you will get on the slides, but it's also available as a free download on our virtualbrainhealthcenter.com website. And the first thing is balance. So to take brain breaks every day and to prioritize time to unwind. That's really what we're talking about tonight, is to learn to relax, learn to breathe, learn to calm your nervous system down so that your brain and your body work well. So I know we've talked about a lot of different things, but what do I want you to take away? So I want you to understand that mindfulness is an important practice in order for your brain to have its best life. I also want to encourage you to experiment with different techniques to see which work best for you. If you find yourself getting stressed out by doing one of these techniques, then it's not the right one for you, because that's not what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to center you and get you more relaxed. But what I would like you to try to do is to set a goal for yourself that you're going to try to plan a time every day to practice a few minutes of mindfulness, whether it's a few minutes of breathing, whether you find that calm video on YouTube and use it, whether you try to do some relaxation exercises, whether you try to listen to some of those healing sounds. But even if you could set aside 5 minutes a day of this time. Oh, also about the passive music. You want to be in a quiet place and sit in a relaxed or lay in a relaxed posture. So you kind of want to be in that same mindset of the breathing and the meditation to get the most results. So you don't want to listen to that music while you're driving the car or while you're doing errands. You want to be focused and relaxed while you're listening to that music. I'm giving you several resources. I gave you the link on Amazon for Debbie Hampton's book about mindfulness. I've given you a link to an article about the 10 health benefits. Also gave you the link for that Meta Mindfulness Music website. The music that they sell on their website is like $3 for an album. It's very reasonable. And it's very scientifically proven. And I also gave you a link to the podcast with Dr. Richard Gold, where he talks about the benefits of this type of music in a meditation practice. So you'll get these resources as well. So I would love to open it up to questions, and hopefully I can answer those for you. So please feel free to put that in the Q&A, and I will do my best to give my answer for you.
Thank you very much, Leanne. A lot of good and useful information to keep us mindful in our daily lives. Yes. Those were great videos.
Yeah, I wanted to do ones that were free and also do ones that were easy to follow. So
it's important to have access to those types of resources. So thank you for that.
Yes.
All right, we have a question.
Yes.
Have you heard of any groups that combine any religious practices with some mindful practices?
I'm sure there are. I am not aware of any off the top of my head, but I am sure there are religious groups or organizations that maybe do more of a faith-based type of meditation. You might even be able to Google faith-based meditation practices and come up with some of those because, you know, a lot of the research that's out there, just prayer in itself is sometimes also considered a meditation or a mindfulness practice. So I am sure there are. I kept this a little more general, but I would guarantee you that you would be able to find some of those.
Do you have any other solutions for better sleep?
Yeah, sleep is it's a really hard thing. Getting relaxed and getting your mind turned off is one of the most important things that you need to do. There's a whole host of things. I forget, was it just the last time I talked that we did one on sleep?
Yes.
Sometimes just getting a routine. So getting a bedtime routine, you know, we were used to having our kids have a bedtime routine that got them all geared up and ready for bed. We need to do that as adults too. We need to have time to unwind. We need to have time to get away from our emails. We need to have time to get away from the blue light that's emitted on all our screens. We need time to just relax. We need a cool bedroom. We need to have a comfortable bed and spot, quiet, no TV. But I think in relation to this meditation and mindfulness area, it's really that breathing and clearing your mind and relaxing everything that can feed into helping you especially get to sleep and fall back to sleep if you wake up in the middle of the night.
For that, Leanne. And I know, so I mentioned that we record all of our webinars, so feel free. We do have a web page on YouTube, so it would be good to go back to Leanne's presentation. I think that was from October.
I think that's right. I think that's
so.
right.
Definitely check into that. All right, we got another one. I've heard of grounding techniques where you are asked to focus on one particular thing and then another. For example, what are 3 colors that you see? That's an example. I think it's to help you get focused on anything other than your stressful thoughts, right?
Yeah.
Is the focus of it.
Yeah, and you know, there's a whole bunch of different guided meditation techniques. So some will help you focus on something that's in your space that you are in. Some of it might have you close your eyes and they describe maybe a walk that you're going on through the woods. And I think what you said about get you out of your head is exactly right. It's to get you focused on something else other than your thoughts that are going crazy in your head. And you may have to experiment with different kinds because for as many people that are out there trying to meditate, there's probably that many different types of guided meditation. Some people can maybe just do it themselves with some music in the background. Others, I need somebody telling me what to think about and telling me to breathe, because I'm a very beginning meditator. But I will tell you, when I take a meditation class online in the evening, even if it's only a 10 or 15-minute video or whatever, I tend to sleep better. So it definitely does something to my brain. Now, that should push me to be a little bit better at doing it every night. I can't say that I do, but a lot of people find that doing some type of guided meditation in the evening really helps with sleep.
Thank you for that. I know one that we will do with our caregivers. Some of you might, who are on here tonight, probably know this one, but it's a body scan. So that's a good one as well. If you Google that, there are people, you can read them, but there's different scripts for how to lead a body scan. But that one in particular, I've had a lot of good feedback on. So
yeah, I know there's some that go either head to toe or toe to head, not like we did tonight in big group, but it'll be, you know, relax your eyebrows, relax your cheeks, relax your chin, your neck, go down and then come back up. And it really gets you thinking about relaxing everything, and it turns your mind off. And that's what mindfulness is about.
Can exercise count as meditation? I use it to clear my head and to refocus.
Yeah. So when we talked about, you know, yoga, Tai Chi, Qigong, those are definitely exercises that during the exercise practice, they help you to, you know, clear your head. Here's the key. My husband would use running as his time to think and plan ahead for what he's going to do. That is not mindfulness or meditation. But if exercise helps you clear your mind and you're focusing on what you're doing in the exercise or the breathing, let's say you're a swimmer and you're really focusing on that breathing in the swimming, then yes, it can be a meditation or a mindfulness. So it's kind of how you use it. If you're using it to plan and think, no. If you're using it to get out of your head and to relax, then yes. So it's kind of confusing, but it could be used either way.
I think we have time for one more tonight. Okay. Is journaling a form of meditation?
Yes, it's definitely a form of mindfulness, and it also can be a form of meditation. Again, if you are not making your to-do list. So if you are journaling about how you feel right now, you know, if you're journaling about the here and now, if you're journaling about what you're grateful for, a gratitude journal can be a form of meditation or mindfulness. So again, it's how you use it. If you're just reviewing your day and what you did, no, that's not a form of meditation. But if you're focusing on the here and now, maybe the stress you're currently feeling, what, you know, how you're going to relax tonight, you know, right here, right now, that anything you do that's right here, right now is meditation or mindfulness. If you're looking back over the day or looking to tomorrow, then it's not here. So you want to be here in the present moment, and then it can count as mindfulness or meditation.
Great. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Very
Thanks.
good, very good information tonight. We all need to be reminded of these things.
Yes, and I hope we can all use it.
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
So again, thank you all for coming tonight. I did want to highlight a little bit about our dementia program. Nicole and I are care navigators. We work with people in the community and their families if they have memory concern. We connect them to various services. And most people do want to stay at home as long as possible. So we're there to connect them to supports within JFSA or elsewhere as necessary. And we're really there for the person and their caregivers that are involved. So feel free to give a call if you do have any referrals for us. Dr. O'Toole and Dr. Magulius, they are two geriatricians that work with us at Allison's Place Clinic at JFSA. So they work very closely with Nicole and myself and our clients. They're there to assess and really work with the client over time with their dementia concerns, and they're very, very available to the family when need be as well. With us as well, Frank Petrelli, he's our general psychologist. He assists with our cognitive testing. And Pamela Lynch, she is our health educator and facilitator for our caregiving with confidence workshops and support groups.
I think I got these out of order, so I'll
Oh,
skip
no,
to this
that's
one and then
okay.
go back.
That's okay. In our program in general, we do offer caregiving with confidence, which is a workshop for family caregivers. We will be having another workshop in January. So if you are interested in that, please feel free to reach out. We just finished with one last night. We have a dementia support group that is virtual, and we offer those on the second and fourth Mondays of the month from 1:30 to 2:30. And we also have our supports with Nicole and myself. We have our care at home program, which provides home health aides, nursing, and other skilled services. And of course, our monthly brain health and wellness initiative series presentations. And speaking of that, next month, Dr. O'Toole will be with us on January 25th at 6:30. She is preparing her topic at this time, so we will get that to you at a later date. So again, Nicole and myself are here if you have any questions, and we'd be happy to talk with you. And I just wanted to note tonight, so Leanne Stuver has been with us probably since the start of this program 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago now. And I just wanted to note that she will be spending her time with her virtual brain health center. It has really taken off and it's very successful. So she needs to spend her time on that, but we are always here and welcome to have her back when time allows. So we just want to thank you for all you've done for us over the past few years.
Oh, you're very welcome. And it's been my pleasure to be here and share what I know with everybody. So
thank you. All right. Well, take care, everyone, and enjoy your holidays this month, okay? And take care.
Thanks, Hannah.
All right. Bye-bye.